Now this little screen right here completely changed the way that I see footage. I've been using this for the last couple of weeks on client shoots and everything, and honestly, I'm never going back to the little screen that you have in your camera. Let's get into it. By the way, if you don't know me, my name is Jay. I am a travel videographer and create very cool, like sort of documentary style videos for interesting people. And if you want to follow my journey, this is the channel. You can subscribe if you like it. I basically talk about what I'm doing, all my projects, and comment gear that I buy and why I choose the ones I choose. That's it. Okay, so talking about the product, this is the Feel World F5 Pro X. Now, this video is not sponsored, so whatever I say about this product is completely genuine. It is a 5.5-inch Full HD touchscreen monitor, and with what I just said, it basically ticks all the main boxes that I needed. So something pretty big, at least that can replace the really small screen on my camera, and a Full HD monitor that is also touchscreen. The touchscreen feature is extremely important. Now, unfortunately, I'm gonna straight up talk about the negatives here. This monitor right here is not touchscreen in the sense that you can't touch it to pull the focus in that certain area. It's not touchscreen in that way. It's touchscreen in the sense that you can navigate the menu by touching the screen. That's the sense of it. Now, there are a few reasons why I chose this monitor instead of the other ones that I saw online. So the main thing about this monitor, and it's not just about the huge screen that it has, but it's also how bright the screen is. This is a 1600 nit monitor, which is pretty insane, because if you don't know what that means, is that even if you have like the sun shining on you, you are gonna see the screen easily. Like I had it for my last shoot at an event here in Trieste in Italy, and basically I could see everything in the monitor, and I was actually shocked at like how bright everything was. It was like almost too much. And the beautiful thing about this monitor right here is that you don't have to actually navigate the menu to pull the brightness up and down. You can just navigate your finger left and right to basically put the exact brightness that you need. That is huge to me, because when I'm shooting and I have the monitor which is too bright, I can't go on the menu and tell the client to stop just a second because I need to like pull the brightness down and everything. I simply want to drag my finger up and down, choose my brightness, and start shooting. That's the main thing. Now, another thing about the screen that I really love, it's how big it is, but not only for me to see, it's also for showing the clients like the footage that I'm taking, right? So this might seem pretty like stupid maybe to some, but if you like show the client what you're filming on the small screen on your camera, it's not gonna look like as professional. So if you pull up with like a sort of iPad mini on your camera, which is what they think this is, they're maybe not gonna say anything, but deep inside them, I think that they're gonna notice that you have like extremely good gear. And that's the thing that I was thinking about also in the last couple of weeks, that the more I tend to build like my camera rig for my Sony a6700, the more people start to respect my work, at least while I'm shooting. And that's a pretty funny thing, because the camera, yeah, these are obviously important things for me, like for how comfortable I am shooting, but these are not essential to like get extremely good shots. I bought this because I was always like cramped down trying to look at my small monitor, but it doesn't change the shot. So that's a nice touch. If you're working with clients, remember that like the bigger something is, the better. I know this sounds like really bad, but believe me, at least that's my experience with it. Another thing about the big monitor is that I can exactly nail my exposure the way I want to. Not only because it has insane features, which I'm going to talk about later, but because I can easily see all the screen and everything that I need inside of my scene. And obviously I can look at the exposure tab and everything, and I can exactly nail the brightness that I need for my footage. Again, this is something that you can still achieve with your small like camera screen. Okay, so now finishing up like the exterior part, you have the HDMI in and out cables. You also have an incredible amount of mounting options, so side, under, and also like on the center right here, and also on the top obviously. And this is something that it's really overseen when buying a monitor, but for what I personally saw on other filmmakers and also myself, I need to have multiple mounting options if I want to, for example, mount it vertically or horizontally, or do a crazy rig setup if I need. This is something that is extremely useful. Okay, so now to end off like the outside part, you have this big old battery here. Now I have no clue how much like time this lasts, but I used it, as I said in the last shoot, and it lasted about like, I did like close the monitor when I didn't need to use it. So I don't know if that counts, but I used it quite a lot and honestly did its work. And this battery is also insane for two reasons. So you can just simply click this button right here and it tells you like how much battery you have left on the actual battery. So you don't need to necessarily plug this in and open the monitor to understand how much battery it has left. And you can also recharge the battery without like any external battery chargeable mount or something with just a USB-C cable. You have the insert right here and that's it. Really easy. Now for the cable, I actually bought another one. This is an extendable cable. It's really, really useful. I basically broke the cable that Real World gave me like in the first 2 hours that I used the monitor because it was so like low quality. I understand that, but I understand like putting a cable that's low quality because they focus so much on this one, but I would say like don't put it. Either you put something like this, which is pretty high quality. It does cost like only 15 bucks this, but still put something high quality or don't put it at all because it's just a waste of time. And also like on the rig, like the actual arm itself that like goes from the monitor to your camera, that's really low quality as well in my opinion. So I should suggest to like buy like a small rig one and mount that. I still have to buy it, but yeah, I would say just buy that one. It's easier. Now for the top of the monitor, you have 8 buttons. So 3 of them are custom ones. One is to activate or deactivate the touch section. One is for the menu, one is for the up and down, and one is to basically exit the menu or activate the monitor. Okay, so if we open this bad boy up, you obviously need to connect it to the camera, but if you go on the menu section, you can basically see that it has multiple things. So the first is the assist, where you have basically all the waveforms and the peaking display, the focus area, the histogram and everything. I personally really like to use the waveform to basically expose really well my clips. I don't really like to use anything else because I feel like, for example, like the zebra pattern or the false color also, it takes personally for me too much time to actually understand the right exposure of that scene. So I just like to use the waveform. I obviously shoot in log, so I use it with either like the log settings on or off. It depends. I obviously have the activation of the waveform with the first custom button, and that's the main thing. Now, then if we go on marker, we have all the grids, the center point, the ratio marker and everything. Now the grids are obviously always on in my monitor, also the center marker, but the ratios, now these are insane. I put this personally like on the vertical ratio because maybe a client wants both vertical and horizontal shots. So I just put this in and I understand exactly like how wide I need to be to get everything for the vertical and also for the horizontal one. Then you have the user section where you can actually upload your own LUTs. Now keep in mind, I had this problem at the start. So I used to have like the conversion LUT inside my Sony a6700 and I used to forget to deactivate that one, and I used to activate also like my LUTs that I created on DaVinci Resolve, which already had obviously the conversion LUT. So like the images really looked like dark and they didn't like make me expose really well. I focused a bit too much on like what they actually looked on the monitor and I didn't really look at like the numbers and the exposure settings and everything. Be sure to deactivate and activate the right amount of conversion LUTs. Personally, for my last shortcut key, I put the focus area because, as I said before at the start of the video, you can't unfortunately just click on a specific point on the monitor and focus on that area right there. So I find myself to sometimes use the manual focus. Now this is actually a great like exercise, so I think that you should do it as well. But obviously the Sony a6700 has an insane autofocus, so I can just put it on people and it follows the person extremely well with the autofocus. Now if there are multiple people inside the shot and maybe I want to focus more on one or the other, you obviously need to use the manual in this situation because maybe it focuses just on one single person and you want to focus on the other one, so you do have to go on manual and use obviously the focus brightness area and the beacon display and everything. But other than that, this monitor is insane. Now lastly, in the systems menu, you obviously can change the language, the volume. Guys, if you made it this far, first of all, thank you so much for being here. I would really appreciate it if you click the subscribe button and the like button. It really helps my channel. And if you want to see more gear videos, I will have them linked up right here. And I'll see you in the next one, boys. Ciao, ciao.